Welcome to the Front Seat Life podcast. This is Jessica Butts, your host and CEO and creator of Front Seat Life, where I help you be unapologetically who you are in your life, love, and business. Hello, Front Seat Lifers. It is Jessica Butts, and I am, as always, insanely delighted to come to you. I'm so honored that so many of you are listening and leaving amazing reviews on iTunes and engaging and following me over on Instagram, which is, by the way, Front Seat Life. I just feel like this is just such an unbelievable pleasure to be able to share content with you. I'm getting DM messages from you. I'm getting Facebook messages from you. I'm getting amazing 5-star reviews and comments on iTunes, and it's starting to make sense. It's such an interesting thing to do a podcast and to put out all of my love and my knowledge to be of service to you, but kind of not have initial engagement. So it's very lovely 6 months into this amazing project to start to get some feedback from all of you. So thank you for that. Please keep it up. It really does mean the world to me when I hear from you guys that this stuff is making an impact. And today's topic is a big one. I have been it's what seems like a lifelong journaler, but that's probably not true. I mean, I guess as a young girl, I was a diary writer, but in my adult life, I have been journaling the majority of my life, especially since I've gone back to graduate school and started this new part of my business and becoming an author and a coach and a keynote speaker and doing all the things that I do now. And I got to be honest, I get massive pushback, probably from 90, I'm going to say between 90 and 98% of my clients. I get massive pushback on journaling. People don't get it. They don't want to do it. They don't understand it. They think it's woo-woo. And so today's topic is the 3 real reasons why I journal. Like, I'm going to get down to specifics about why I actually journal, because I think there's a lot of people out there that think journaling is just this ethereal woo-woo thing to do, and people don't get it. And the reality is there are actual reasons of why I do it, and I want to share those with you today. I'm excited to share this because I didn't want to do an episode about like just journal and again have it be this kind of ethereal bullshit that, you know, people are like, I've heard this shit before. But today I'm going to just keep it real per usual, and I'm going to give you the 3 reasons why I journal. So let's just jump in. Number 1 is I call this, externalizing the crazy. How many of you spin? Okay, I can feel the feedback. You're in your cars, you're at the gym, you're listening to this cleaning the house, you're doing it somewhere, and you literally just went, oh shit, I know that feeling. That feeling when you get out of your body, your head starts making up stories, you're spinning with thoughts of worry or fear or shame or I'm a worrier. I don't know. What are you guys? What are you? I'm a worrier. I worry. I hate this about myself, but I worry and I spin and I get in my head and I make up stories. And I go to this place, I'm going to do an episode on the Ladder of Inference. It's a wonderful tool I learned in graduate school. And basically the Ladder of Inference is you climb up this ladder of making assumptions and drawing conclusions that aren't really even based on fact. And so that's where the spinning comes from, is we start making up stories about, what our mother thinks about us, or why that client was a jerk, or why that client left, or why he hasn't texted back, or why you haven't heard from your sister, or why that person rolled their eyes at you, or all the stuff, right? We just spin and spin and spin. Journaling for me is a way to come back into reality. I love explaining this to people, so I hope that the listeners right now, I hope you guys are getting this, because the coming back to reality, right? It brings you down. There's a lot of things that we can do to externalize the crazy. One of those is journaling. Another is meditation. Another is getting into a bodily practice like walking or exercising or yoga, even sipping water, paying attention on purpose, mindfulness. Last week's episode, I talked a lot about getting out of the spinning and getting into mindfulness and paying attention on purpose, and sipping water sometimes can be one of those. My favorite version is journaling. It's writing down reality. How am I feeling in this moment? What are my wins? What am I still struggling with? How am I processing information? How is my actual business doing? How are my relationships actually doing? And getting real about what's going on. So again, it's externalizing the crazy. And sometimes my journal is just an absolute utter shit show of free writing. It's just getting rid of the spinning. I feel this way. This is what's going on. I also get into planning mode. I start writing a lot of things about what I want for my future and those kinds of things. But there's a lot of journal prompts. The 5-minute journal is in my opinion, an excellent journal prompt. I don't think the book is very pretty. The journal isn't very pretty, but it's a really great journal prompt. There's plenty of them out there. I have a journal myself. I love my journal. It's called Be Unapologetically Who You Are. You can get it on Amazon. It has prompts in the front. It has quotes. It's got a planner and a 90-day goals and your rocks and what's important to you and your personality type and your core values and your love languages and all kinds of great prompts. But then there's also lined pages and also just non-lined pages for free writing and open writing. And that, again, is the number one reason why I journal, is to quit the spinning and stop externalizing the crazy. So that's one. Number two is, this is a doozy, people, and a lot of people don't do this. When I tell people this for the first time, this is one that they go, oh shit, I never thought about this. And I have to say, all of these are important, but this might be the most important one. Is I feel like there needs to be a drum roll, because this is an intense one. I reread my journals. I know that is terrifying to think about, and let me tell you, it actually is terrifying. I'm not going to lie. I read them sometimes and go, oh, Jessica, oh, for crying out loud, woman, like this, you're still stuck, or you're still repeating the same patterns, or you're still making the same mistakes. Like, come on, girl. But there's also a sense of, and I think this is actually a Dr. Philism, is the best predictor of future performance is past performance. So if we don't know what we've been struggling with, if we don't go back and reread what we're stuck on, what relationships we're having, when we felt awesome. As a former psychotherapist, I talk to my clients about this all the time. We spend so much time focusing on what's bad, but what indicated or what got us to a place of feeling awesome? What was happening in our lives? I mean, this is when I actually learned that I go through a seasonal depression actually in the summer. I don't do it the normal time like most people do when in winter. I actually have my seasonal depression in the summer. And so a couple of years ago, I really started organizing my summer in a way because I knew that it was coming. If I never reread my journals and thought, oh, shit, this is interesting. Like every August, I seem to go through this weird seasonal depression. So what can I do to organize my life in a way that I know that this thing is coming? Or what are the relationship patterns that I've had that I'm still in that I now can look at with a new set of eyes? Or in my business, what is working and what is not working? Again, the best predictor of future performance is past performance. And so if we're not paying attention to what we've been doing, and again, the best way to do that is to literally reread our own life. I mean, it's like watching a movie of your own life. When did I feel awesome? When do I feel great? I just listened to a really amazing podcast yesterday, Amy Porterfield's podcast with Kate Northup, and she was talking about something that I'm going to start tracking as well for women in particular is our energy around our cycle. So we go through a 28-day cycle. I don't know if that's very true for me, but I think that's something interesting to look at. I am much more of a seasonal kind of fall, winter, spring, summer kind of person, and paying attention to the seasons and when do I have energy, when do I not, when am I kind of going through seasonal depression, what am I doing in my life, am I watching too much TV, am I spending time with people that I don't love, am I uninspired, am I not traveling, like what is causing that? And then also paying attention to, why am I feeling awesome? Is it because I'm traveling? Is it because I'm hanging out with awesome people? Am I in a wonderful relationship? Am I taking care of myself? Am I going to yoga? Am I not watching too much TV? Like, what are all the things that are contributing to the good and the bad? So here's the deal. I reread my journal at least once a year. Like I set it aside. It's a very special time for me. I go to this place in Seattle area called the Salish Lodge. I spend about $500. I book myself into this ridiculously nice hotel that has a gorgeous restaurant, a gorgeous spa, and I go there for a solid 24 hours. And I spend that time rereading my journals. And what I do during that time is I also start a new journal that I write down, what am I learning from last year? So that's how I started, is what are my lessons from 2018? And in December of this year, I will do the same thing. What did I learn from 2019? And I literally write them in bullet points so I can go back and look at them of okay, this is what I learned. This is when I'm great. This is when I'm not great. You get the point. I would also say, and I've started to do this year a little bit, as I'm kind of in a massive growth period personally and in business, is I'm actually starting to reread them quarterly. So I do, my journal is really kind of designed to be a 90-day journal. I desperately believe in 90-day goals and 90-day plans and keeping that structure in my life and my business. And so my journal, I go through one of them once a quarter. So each quarter before I start my new journal, I reread the old journal. But I'll be honest, I'll probably do the exact same thing in December, or at least reread the first part of the year, because that's also interesting, is by December, I've like almost completely forgotten what I was going through in January. And again, it's just an utterly fascinating process. So that's number 2. All right, front seat lifers. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I am doing something I have never done before. I am doing Front Seat Life Summer School for all my girl boss ladies out there. This is for the entrepreneurs that are kind of just starting out and or have been flailing in their business. They're kind of all over the place. They can't get their shit together. They don't know what's wrong. They don't understand because they haven't built the foundations of their business. So for the entire month of July and August, and then a huge epic one-day implementation and integration session in person or live stream on September 4th, I am going to help you get the foundations of your business together. We are going to cover what to do first and when, your website, your logo, your email list, all the stuff, social media, when, where, how often, what is your point of view, figuring out what your niche is so you can be rich and not broke, your front seat and your back seat, building a team, when to do it, how to do it, and figuring out don't do stuff that you suck at, how to stay motivated, support, mastermind, and accountability partners. What is your zone of genius? Scheduling, which is time blocking, what's important to you, CEO time, rocks, 90-day goals, which has changed my business and my clients' business, mindset, and then of course, lastly, my signature system, the 3S method of structures, systems, and singular focus. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. For those of you, and I know you guys because I've had millions of you as my clients, maybe not millions, hundreds of you as my clients, you're flailing. You've been making this promise to yourself and to your spouse, and you're saying you're going to get it together, and you never do. This is your opportunity to get everything in one place. It is Front Seat Life Summer School. We're going to get you in June. It starts July 8th. Every Monday at 9 a.m., I will be giving you content. You will then be doing homework, and you will end the week with implementation. That is an 8-week process. And then again, we have an epic full day. You can come to Seattle, you can live stream it, where we will do an entire day of integration and implementation. This is it, guys. I'm so excited to bring you this because I have been hearing this from my clients for years that this is something that they need and want. And I am finally bringing it to you all summer long. Get yourself signed up. It's only open May until June 25th. That's it. I will see you there. First was externalize the crazy, get rid of the spinning. Number 2 is rereading your journal, because the best predictor of future performance is past performance. And last but not least, number 3. This is a big one. And I would say this goes true for my entire morning practice, but I will do another episode on my entire morning practice. What I do during that time, why I do it in the morning versus why I do it in the evening. Some people are morning people, some people are night people. I would way rather get up at 5 a.m. than stay up until midnight. My body just doesn't do it, and people are different. And so I think there are best times of the day for people. And so I'm actually not married to this fact, but I'm about to tell you the fact of either doing it in the morning or in the evening. But what I will say is the part of doing it in the morning, and specifically journaling in the morning, is this idea of it grounding you. So I'm busy, just like all of you listening are busy. I love that you're taking the time of your very busy life to listen to this podcast, so thank you. But we are busy, and who knows this feeling? The difference between being reactive, starting your day reactive, you know, that feeling of like, oh my God, my alarm went off late. My sister was just telling me there the other day, she went to hit snooze. She got meant to get up at 5. She hit snooze, but she actually turned her alarm off, her phone off, and didn't get up until 6:55. This would be a perfect example of that feeling of getting up and immediately feeling reactive. That holy shit moment. I gotta run out the door. I gotta brush my teeth. I gotta get the kids packed. I gotta get the lunches. I gotta do the thing. I'm, putting my mascara on in the car. That feeling is chaos. Can I get an amen? That feeling is reactive and chaotic. It fucking amazes me, people. And you might be one of those people. Amazes me how many people start their day like this on purpose, like without even thinking about it. My sister had the experience of, oh shit, I'm now reactive because my alarm didn't go off. But there's people who actually live their normal lives like this. They set their alarm as late as they possibly can. They get up and they start their day reactive. I am here to tell you right now, it is impossible to go into your day feeling grounded, centered, and proactive when you get up every day in chaos. So I tell all of my clients this, and every single one of them that is pushed back, that then goes into adopting it, confirms that this alone changes people's lives. It will change your life to get up, in my opinion, at least an hour earlier. And I know there's people that are like, oh, I already get up early. Hey, I have an amazing client. Her name is Andrea. I love her so much. She is a busy mom. She exercises in the morning. She is committed to her health, committed to her family, committed to her business. She has a full-time job. She's got it going on. She was already getting up at 5 to go to the gym. She made a commitment to get up an hour before that at 4 a.m. to spend an hour getting herself grounded by journaling, processing, just having time for herself before the chaos of the day. And I actually love it doing it in the dark. I think there's something like really like private and intimate and wonderful to light a candle, have some coffee or tea, and start your morning with your thoughts. And a lot of you are actually afraid of your thoughts, but I'm here to tell you, well, most of you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you were still like afraid of your thoughts. Don't be afraid of your thoughts. If you're afraid of your thoughts, you're never going to get more than 5 minutes in front of your face. Do you know that? Like, if you can't even sit with your own thoughts, if you can't be by yourself, if you can't journal what you're thinking or feeling, you're in deep shit, people, because this is how we evolve. We gotta quit being so codependent. We gotta get focused on who we are. We have to get focused on what we want in this world, how we feel, what we're thinking, processing, get grounded, getting proactive, and choosing a selfish time during the day to be with ourselves. I don't work with a lot of those people anymore, but it did used to amaze me when I was a psychotherapist to see how many people they are addicted to busy. They're always on their phone and they think it's a badge of honor, right? They wear it as a badge of honor. Like, oh, I wake up and I'm so busy. I have so much going on. I have something every single night of the week. And I have this many friends and this PTA and this junior league and this and that and whatever. And I'm like, great, but what do you want in your life? What are your goals? How do you feel? How are your relationships? How connected are you? How's your intimacy to your partner? And it's like a daze of stares of like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I will substitute being busy for being intentional any day of the week. Yeah. I don't know if I have much more to say about it. I will give that up any day of the week. And I am here to tell you, for the entrepreneurs, for the leaders in the world, for those that, as Jeff Olson calls it, the 5%ers, that if you want a more engaged, a more rich, a more intimate, a more successful, a more authentic life, you have to start the practice of journaling, period. End of story. Nobody I know that is successful, the Tony Robbins, the Gay Hendricks, the Oprahs, the former Steve Jobs, all the people will say one of the secrets to their success is that they start every morning with a morning practice. And part of that morning practice is journaling. So that's the 3 real reasons I journal, you guys. I could have come to you today with all this ethereal BS about blah, 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 whatever. I hate that shit. I wanted to give you real context to why I journal. And I hope that this, I'll be honest, I hope that this convinces you to start. I hope that this convinces you to take your already journaling practice to another level. I hope that it convinces you to maybe get up an hour earlier, especially if you're listening to this in the summer. Like, it's such an easy time to do it because it's lighter earlier. So I will leave it at that. I will come to you, I promise, with my full morning practice. I'll probably share that with you guys next week. So stay tuned for that, about all the different things that I do in the morning to get myself grounded for my day so that I become, again, grounded. I think of it as cementing, right? So think about going out in the world reactive. If someone comes to you with something, they push you over, they say something mean to you, you get hit with a tough email, you get hit with an insult. If you're not grounded, that may very well literally knock you over. But I like to think about, again, journaling as like putting your feet in cement. It doesn't mean that I still don't get those emails. It doesn't mean that I don't get flipped off on the road sometimes. It doesn't mean that people aren't jerks to me. But I have an ability then to be able to take a deep breath, get grounded, and just say, like, okay, that's fine, because I know who I am. I have a relationship with myself. I can take a deep breath. I know self-care routines. I know how I need to take care of myself in those moments so that I don't start my day, again, reactive, and there's a sense of massive proactivity. All right, people. My beautiful front seat lifers, I so hope this has been helpful for you. As always, I love to hear from you. I think the very, very best way to hear from you is to give me some comments over on, or not on Instagram. I love that too, actually. Go follow me on Instagram at Front Seat Life. I love 5-star reviews. I mean, obviously, if you hate my guts, like I guess you could leave me a poopy review, but that sucks. So I would love a 5-star review and some comments like how was this for you? Did you learn something? I check those every single week, and then as you're about to find out at the end of these, I always do a shout out, so you may hear your name on this podcast as a thank you. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, I have a confession to make. I have a new obsession, and that obsession is reading your ridiculously wonderful, loving, amazing reviews on iTunes. I love them. None of this even matters without all of you. So as a thank you, each week I will be reading one review on air and calling out your review with your name or your iTunes handle. So here's how it's going to go. You're going to go to Instagram and follow me at Front Seat Life. When you hear your name called out on the podcast, you are going to send me a DM with your address and say, "Oh my gosh, you just read my review." And I or my team will be sending you some Front Seat Life swag. We've got books and we've got tank tops and we've got journals and we have these adorable pink swells. So we will be choosing from the goodie bag and sending it out as a thank you. So thank you in advance. And I am so deeply honored to have the opportunity to thank you back. Today's review comes from Heidi Meyer, or your handle is Meyer Heidi. I'm guessing it's Heidi Meyer. And your subject line is amazing! And she says, Jessica is a great mix of amazing knowledge and a ball of energy wrapped in one hilarious truth-telling podcast. Looking forward to every episode and can't wait to see where it goes. Thank you, Heidi, so much. Don't forget, go to my Instagram handle, Front Seat Life. Send me a DM if you just heard your name, and we will send you a bunch of Front Seat Life swag. Thank you again so much. From the bottom of my heart, truly, thank you so much for listening. I know that you have a ton of options, and the fact that you are taking time to listen to the Front Seat Life podcast means absolutely everything to me. If you're interested in learning more about the Front Seat Life way of life in the community, there's a couple ways that you can do that. First is always starting with your personality assessment tool. It's available on my website at jessicabutts.com. It's totally free, and it will help you figure out your personality type so you'll have some idea of what we're talking about. Next is, if you're interested in hiring me for a keynote or some coaching or strategy days or the fabulous and amazing Front Seat Life community, you can find out all about all of that at jessicabutts.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.